Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new video here on the new Byte. My name is Hostas, and today I want to start a mini-series about Pokemon Quest, the most recent Pokemon game that got to Nintendo Switch. And this game is a special one. It has lots of interesting things happening, and especially the way how it works with the payment. It's just very interesting to look at. I will separate this into three parts. The first part will explain how the game works in general, is more an introduction of people who have not seen yet Pokemon Quest, who don't know what the game is about, but are generally interested in it. So I can explain to you how the game works, and after the video you can decide for yourself if you want to download and play it on your Nintendo Switch, or when it comes out on iOS or Android in June. So let's get right into it and let's talk about what is Pokemon Quest. So Pokemon Quest basically is set as a spin-off game. Of course it's a spin-off title, it's not a core RPG, and you are a scientist that lands on the Tumblecube Island. The whole island is just, well, using lots of rectangles and has a cubey aesthetic, because also the Pokemon that inhabit that island also look very blocky, almost like in Cube World. This actually gets explained that this is just this one island where this happens, how the more regular actually Pokemon that we know from the first generations, only the first 150, are all on that island, and you are here to explore and see how that island is inhabited. The goal is to explore all of the 10 different sections that are on this island. This game already does a lot of things different from the RPG game that we know of, and this will also be a main focus point of the next video. In here I'll just briefly explain how it works. So you get to know your first Pokemon body, and with that you will just go into the first zone and start to find your way through it. Interesting enough, because in Pokemon Quest, exploration also means basically just having strong enough Pokemon to fight your way through them. It's basically a hostile situation. So you invade explore Pokemon Quest in the island of Tumblecube Island and see where you're landing. The first one is very easy to go through, of course, and the game gives you a very lengthy tutorial, around 30 minutes, and basically just locks you down. The game doesn't allow you to do anything else than the tutorial, but from then on it's getting more open. The first area in the game only goes through 3 stages, and of course at the end there'll always be a boss fight. But actually each stage in itself also has a boss fight at the end. One Pokemon that's a little bigger and a bit stronger than the usual ones that you meet in that zone. But of course, as you have to get more and more out of stress through stronger and stronger Pokemon, which in return force you to train more, you have to have also these boss encounters. So you work your way through the first zone and you will get a statue. How weird. That statue is sort of like the Pokemon badges back from the RPG days. They'll help you to get, for example, they'll help you to train your Pokemon faster, to get them near to the most current level that you are working on, and they're also helping you in different ways. Statues can be bought through a ticket system, and that ticket system will also be part of another video. Just briefly explained, the ticket system is used to pay for everything that's on the island. You will have, for the exploration of island zones, you will always need 1 energy from your battery, and you start off with just 4. You can pay and get more out of them by either purchasing statues, which are purchasable through tickets, or with a few sets you can also pay direct money to get them right at the start of the game. Again, this is also part of another video where I will go deeper into if it's worth it to pay for this game. For now, that's all that I'm saying about this. Of course, the battery is not the only thing that will recharge. If you go out and explore zones, also you can have the ability to cook for Pokemon so that you attract more bodies. This way is simply explained as, while they are Pokemon, they also drop the things that they were gathering. For example, mushrooms of different colors. These colors turn into a sort of mini-game where you mix together 5 slots in a cooking pot and hope to have a meal later on that will resemble the color of a Pokemon that will be attracted by it. Meaning if you have, for example, a red colored meal, you will attract a Pokemon that's roughly red. Sometimes that changes also in orange or yellow, so it's not that narrowly defined. I, for example, had a yellow meal, but I got a Pokemon that was actually brown. So yeah, it's not that narrow. You can only do a little bit in order to aim for a new Pokemon body that you want to have. These cooking pots will evolve later on, so you can put in more of the same berries or mushrooms, so you can also attract stronger buddies, but that is basically how you get new Pokemon. There's no catching, no Pokeball throwing, just cooking and attracting new buddies. I personally like to think this is a very nice thing. Okay, so you have your first buddies together, now it's time to form your team. With 3 Pokemon you have one team that can go out to explore zones. Since you're limited to only 3, you really have to make up your mind which kind of team do you want to have. Zones are themed, of course, and have Pokemon that are performing way more different if they have, for example, an elemental advantage in that area. Each Pokemon can have 1 or 2 attacks, and these attacks are the same ones as you know from the Pokemon RPG. So, for example, my Charmander had Ember, and another Pokemon had Scratch, and all those things that you already know. Of course, these work a little different because the damage is not just based on, hey, do we have a chance to hit a Pokemon or not? Since you're actually having a top-down strategy game where you are just the controller over the abilities, and if the Pokemon should scatter around the area to avoid attacks, you're basically more like a commander than just a trainer. Pokemon itself are of course attacking on their own with some base attacks like a simple scratch or a hit, but the abilities of course are there to really make a difference in the game. These attacks of course can be empowered by 2 different kinds of stones that you can put into slots. The higher the level of the Pokemon is, the more slots it has. The first kind of slots are actually power stones, which are either helping to get a Pokemon stronger, giving out more damage, or health stones, which give them, of course, well, logically, more health. The second kinds are actually support stones, and these are one of 6 different kinds. One kind of them, for example, is that a Pokemon does the same attack twice, or it has a lower timer before it can do the attack again. These things are very important, of course, for the overall strategy for a game. Do you have a Pokemon that, for example, is buffing not itself, but also his teammates through the help of support stones, or do we have, for example, a tank? These roles are really reminding me of classic strategy and RPG titles. You have the DPS, the tank, and the healer, for example. Or, well, at least the mage that helps out to strengthen yourself or weaken your enemies. And that's actually all that there is in terms of management. Pokemon can of course also learn new attacks, which is the way how you also get rid of other Pokemon. Because you're limited in how many Pokemon bodies you can attract at once. You can expand that by paying through the ticket system again, and this is also what I will explain in the 3rd video of this series. For now, let's just know if you reach the limit of 20 Pokemon. If you want to attract more, you have to get rid of other Pokemon. And you do that not by releasing them, because they're all your buddies, you cannot really necessarily release them, they would still be around, right? But they will actually be used sort of for training purposes. And there are 2 kinds of trainings besides getting XP from exploring zones. So you can accelerate training, for example, if you have one Pokemon that you want to focus and it trains with up to 4 other Pokemon. These Pokemon then will be used and leave your area, so that's a way to release them, but you will either have a chance to relearn a new attack or to boost up the experience points for one Pokemon specifically so it can level up even faster. Now, Pokemon Quest is a free-to-start title, meaning you can download the game for free and start playing it for free. At some point, the game will offer you opportunities to accelerate your gameplay or to offer you new possibilities, but it does not limit you in what you can play. If you're a paying user or a free user, you will have access to all of the same content, just the paid user will have more advantages and maybe can play lots more within one day. I'll explain that again in the 3rd video of this series. But what I can tell you is, from my standpoint, a person that has paid 30 euros for a first set of free kits, which enabled me to play really much more within a day, I had lots of fun with the game. and it was not frustrating, and it didn't feel like I have to pay more than the initial 30 euros. Currently I'm sitting right now at 20 hours of playtime, and to be honest with you, I'm still playing more while I'm recording this video. So yeah, Pokemon Quest is a lot of fun, and if you're interested by now, you have known an overview how this game works, and maybe know if you want to play it yourself soon. It's for free, of course, so hey, maybe you just want to try it. Doesn't hurt and it doesn't cost you anything. If it's worth it to pay for it, and of course how actually the RPG game from the Game Boy, for example, was translated into this strategy game, this is the focus of the next 2 videos that I'm doing about Pokemon Quest. For now, I thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell of YouTube and leave a comment what you think about this. I will see you hopefully in the next part, and have a nice day. Talk to you soon.